Hello Legacy Sabers, Marsh here. So today we're going to talk about identifying solids and surface area of prisms and cylinders. What you're going to want to have on you, your notebook, foldable, that pink one that we made in class, pencil, and then you're also going to want a calculator today just to kind of see where I'm getting the numbers. So we're going to be starting our 3D part of this unit, and there's types of solids, so basically real life things. Some different kinds that you've possibly seen in your life. A prism, and we'll talk about what a prism is. That's basically like a box, like a 3D box. Pyramid, we've got cones, cylinders, and spheres. What we're going to be looking at is the surface area and also volume, not today, but volume is going to be coming up, of each kind of solid. Now, we need some vocabulary first. Some vocab about solids. When you're talking about the sides of your solid, those are called faces. Normally they are polygons. So on this diagram here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces technically on this solid here. Edges are where the two faces meet. So right here is an edge. There's quite a few edges on this solid here. And then a vertex is a point where 3 or more edges are going to meet. So like right here would be a vertex, right here would be a vertex, there, there, there. The word that we're going to definitely use quite a bit is the faces word. That's something that's going to be coming up quite a bit more. So, prisms are named based on the shape of their bases. And the bases, where are they? Well, bases are two parallel and congruent polygons. So we're going to be looking at the faces of our prisms. Prisms have different bases depending on what the bottoms would be. Now, they are going to be the two parallel sides. So notice like on this diagram here, this isn't parallel. These guys are running into each other. But this side right here and the back side here, those guys are never going to touch. Those guys are parallel. And if I look at those shapes there, those are both rectangles, right? Because they're not congruent on both sides. They're only congruent opposites. So this would be known as a rectangular prism. So notice guys, bases does not mean what it's laying on. You need to find the two that match, or basically the two that are parallel, the top and the bottom if you will, that are parallel with one another. So this one, notice these are not parallel, they're kind of crossing over each other. But right here I have a triangle and also another triangle. This would be a triangular prism. I could even go farther and say it's a right triangular prism because there's a right angle right there. So that is a right triangular prism, or just a triangular prism in that regard. Right here, notice guys, these are not the bases. These are only just faces. They're not bases. My base are this pentagon and the pentagon in the back. Right? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. So this would be known as a pentagonal prism. So knowing the name of them, especially when someone says, hey, what kind of prism is that? Or being able to find it and know what the bases are, that's a big part of being able to solve these. So go ahead and grab out your foldable here. You want to be open to this tab, the surface area of prisms and cylinders area. Top of it should look like this. So we're going to talk about the formulas first. The formulas for the surface area of prisms, aka boxes. And surface area, all it is guys, is basically if I would take wrapping paper around my box, how much wrapping paper would it take to cover the entire box? That's technically what a surface area is. Formula for surface area of prisms: 2b, capital B, plus capital P, H. Now you're probably saying, why are you saying capital B and capital P? Here's why. Those mean something. B is the area of the base. So when you find the base and you name the shape, that is why we need to know which one's the base. P is the perimeter of the base. So basically this is adding all the sides together of our base. And then H is, of course, the height. Cylinders we're also going to be talking about here. Surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Now, this is actually the surface area of a prism as well. Because right here, if I'm looking at a cylinder, my area of my base is pi r squared, because that's the area of the base. 2 pi r is a circumference, aka perimeter of the base, times the height of the cylinder. So that's actually kind of neat. You only need to really memorize 2b plus ph, and you'll be able to learn and remember the surface area of prisms and cylinders. So let's look at this example with this shape. Well, it looks like, guys, it's a rectangular prism, right? Because all of these are rectangles. So this is a rectangular prism, so just make sure and make note of that. So I need to find my surface area. So I'm going to go 2 times my capital B. And capital B is the area of the base. So B equals, well, I'm going to technically make down here the base. Well, area of that base, it's just a rectangle, and to find the area of a rectangle, that is 3 times 2, right? Base times height. So area of my base is 6. Well, technically I have 2 of them, right? So that's why that 2 is inside of our formula. It takes care of finding the area of both the bases. So 2 times 6 plus the perimeter of my base. So this is 3. This is 2. The back here, that would have to be 3 because these are the same, right? It's a rectangle. This guy would have to be 2. So perimeter of my base, P, is got to be 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3. Or 10. So I'm going to go plus 10 times my height. My height, how tall am I? I am 4 inches tall. There we go. Let's go ahead and figure out the amount here. So 2 times 6, that is 12, plus 10 times 4, 40. 12 plus 40, that is 52 inches. And since we're still talking area, squared. 52 inches squared. Let's take a look at another prism. This is a, this looks like a triangular prism, right? Because my 2 bases here, this guy is parallel to that one. So it's a triangular prism. Alright, let's find surface area. Surface area equals 2 times my base. And it's the area of the base. So area of the base. Well, that's this triangle here, right? I'm going to do a little drawing down here. Looks like the base is 14.9. Height is 8. So base times height divided by 2. That would be my area of my triangle. So I'll go 14.9 times 8 divided by 2, which gives me 59.6. My calculator gave me that. So I'm going to put 2 times my base, which is 59.6, plus the perimeter of my base. So perimeter, well, it looks like this side of my triangle is 12, right? So one of the sides is 12. So it looks like this triangle does not have congruent sides. So I think I'm going to have to find this last side here, which tells me that I'm going to have to use probably Pythagorean Theorem, because I don't know anything about if it's like a 30, 60, 90 or anything, so I can't use SOHCAHTOA. I'm going to have to use Pythagorean Theorem. Pythagorean theorem only works though on a right triangle. So let's cut that in half. I have height of 8, just looking on this side here. Height of 8, but it's not 14.9. I have a base of 7.45. That's 14.9 divided by 2, right? Because 14.9 is the full side, half of it's only 7.45. I want to find this side, so 7.45 squared plus 8 squared is equal to 119.5025. Square root that so I can actually find it. X equals 10.93, roughly. So X is 10.93. So my area, or my perimeter of my base, excuse me, is 10.93 plus 12 plus 14.9. So 10.93 plus 12 plus 14.9. So the perimeter of my base, I'm going to take a little note down here, perimeter equals 37.83. So perimeter 37.83 times my height, running into my cylinder here, my height, look, I am 20 up, so 20. Surface area equals, looks like I'm going to have to do some math here. 2 times 59.6, that is 119.2 plus 37.83 times 20, that is 756.6. Add those two together, I get a surface area of 875.8 millimeters squared. Now, let's talk about cylinders as well. Cylinders are just exactly like a rectangular or triangular prism. All you have to do is find the area of the base, multiply it by 2, plus find the perimeter of the base times the height. But since we know a little bit more, because we know it's a cylinder, and we know our bases are circles, right? So I'm going to go 2 times pi r squared plus the perimeter of my base, which is just the circumference, right? So that would be 2 pi r times my height. So this right here is big B. 2 pi r is my big P. All we did is just plugged in the formulas that we know about circles. So my radius on this cylinder is 3. So I got 2 times, I'm going to change pi into 3.14 here. My radius is 3, so I'll be 3 squared, plus 2 times 3.14 times my radius, 3, times my height, which is 4. This thing's 4 centimeters tall. Whew, that's a lot of math here. So let's go ahead and multiply. 2 times 3.14 times, technically that's 9, so this would be 56.25. 2 times 3.14 times 3 times 4 is 75.36. So my total surface area is 131.88 centimeters squared. Then we're going to do a problem that's not on your foldable. However, if you want to write this down on there somewhere, just so you have an extra example, nothing wrong with that. So, same thing, I need to solve it. 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r times h. So, need my radius. I'm given the diameter. Diameter is twice the radius. So that tells me from here to here, the radius would have to be 2. Yeah, 2 for my radius. So I'll go 2 times my pi, which is 3.14, times my radius squared, so that would be 2 squared, plus 2 times 3.14 times my radius, 2, times my height, which is 7 meters tall. Two times 3.14 times 4, because that's 2 squared, that's 25.12. 2 times 3.14 times 2 times 7 is 87.92. Add those two together quick. I get a surface area of 113.04 meters squared. And that's the end of this video. See you later, Sabers.